at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. Welcome to the show, everyone. Game preview show. Thursday means live Q&A as well. So always pop in those questions. But I'm going to be going through the game preview show, going over some key matchups, talking about the 49ers versus the Chargers. Of course, there was news that happened with the 49ers today with Jason Verrett tearing his Achilles yesterday in practice, meaning he's done for the season. Could, in fact, be done for his career. So, sobering news for the 49ers. I mean, was Jason Verrett considered a wild card, according to John Lynch? Absolutely. I don't know exactly what kind of high hopes we could have for him, but it's unfortunate. I feel bad for the guy. This is not how I wanted his career to potentially come to an end. I wanted him to be able to go out the way he wanted to go out, and he had worked so hard coming back from the ACL, and then he has the Achilles issue. So, that's too bad. And he's not going to be a part of the 49ers, future plans. There's just nothing that they can do about it. He can do about it. But they still have a game to play on Sunday night, and we still have a game to talk about. And what's up to everyone that's in chat? How's it going? What's up, Traffic, SG, Spidnick, Danger, Jan? I hope you guys are all having a good Thursday. And this is going to be a fun one. And Mr. Corey saying I wasn't expecting anything from him. I think that was what a lot of people were at. But it's one of those things where it's interesting, you know what I mean? But let's talk about this game. Let's talk about the 49ers versus the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Chargers are dealing with some injuries as well. You've got, Keenan Allen potentially out for the game. Mike Williams will not play. Those are two big names for the Los Angeles Chargers that they're going to be missing, and that makes it a little bit easier for the 49ers. We now know Deommodore Lenoir is going to be the starter outside at corner unless they can figure something else out. So it kind of changes the plans, but Lenoir did a pretty good job last week. I think he'll be okay this week. He's going to go against Joshua Palmer and DeAndre Carter. Those guys are going to be the ones he's going to consistently be battling with, and I think he's well equipped to handle what they do. And so I don't think this is the week where we find out exactly, what Lenoir's made of, but, we're going to have DeAndre Hopkins coming up next week on Monday Night Football. That might give us a better clue of where he's at. But so far, I've really, really liked overall what he does. I like Deommodore Lenoir, so he's been fun. And what's up, Count Club? What's up, Tommy? Welcome to chat. Look at some of the questions that are in there. Yeah, it was until the Jason news. It's been tough. Traffic says, do you know where are there any cornerbacks we can go get and pick up, and who's a free agent? I don't know. I haven't really looked at the cornerback market a whole lot. There were players, that were potentially available. Let me pull out the phone. I had I was looking at a top 100 list a little while back, trying to get an idea, of which guys were potentially available for, the 49ers if they decided to go after, some sort of, players. And let me see which cornerbacks are on this list, and if there's anyone potentially the 49ers, could go after. I just went through the top 10, and none of them were cornerbacks. The first cornerback on the list is Kevin King. He was with Green Bay, so he's potentially available. Malcolm Butler as well. Those are two names that stick out. Of course, Richard Sherman, Janoris Jenkins. There are names that are still out there. As potential AJ Bouye, Pierre Desir, Desmond Trufant. So these guys are out there. Rashad Breeland. So I guess there are names that you would probably recognize and know. I don't know if any of those guys, you guys would be interested in. And Big Papa Paul says, just like everyone's thinking, just know Josh Norman, right? I mean, that's just how it is sometimes. And it's one of those things. I mean, there are players, as we just named. How many of those would be actual consideration for the 49ers? They have young guys. Bomber T brings up, hey, now the 49ers have to count on Ambry Thomas. We'll see. Ambry Thomas, hasn't really stepped up this year. It's unfortunate, but he just hasn't really been making, a lot of plays. And Spiding Danger says, will the 49ers live up to their potential this week and not struggle through the whole game. Yeah, I think they are. I think Spidey Danger, I think they're going to put it together. I'm excited about their potential. If you watched the video from earlier, I actually put my score prediction on there. I think the 49ers are going ham this week. I think their offense is going to explode onto the Chargers. I think the Chargers have a lot of talent, but the Brandon Staley defense that they run is exactly what you see from the Rams. And the 49ers always have tremendous success against it. Staley will adjust in the game. I just put a new scouting report video over on Patreon. If you have Patreon, check that out. It's I break down what the Chargers were doing against Atlanta and how they adjusted. And Atlanta got that run game going early, and then the Chargers really did adjust. And the way that they adjusted was going to what the 49ers saw in the NFC Championship game. They put six linemen at the line of scrimmage, of course, 4 defensive linemen, 2 outside linebackers, 1 being Khalil Mack, and they really just tried to completely load up. So I think that that's what's going on right now, that you're going to have to adjust to what Brandon Staley tries to do. But Jimmy Garoppolo has success against this defense. Kyle Shanahan has success calling plays against this defense. And it's Vic Fangio's 2 deep safety look. And that's what they want to do. They want to run 2 deep safeties. When it starts getting spicy, they start bringing Derwin James into the box. I don't know how much they really want to put, Derwin James into the box. So I think that's something to monitor. But I think you'll be okay. I think so. And let's see. Yeah, you're feeling SG's feeling bad about the news with Jason Verrett. I think that's okay. Tommy Huxley says we are cooked. How are we cooked? I don't know. And what's up, Ronald? How's it going? He says, what's up, Ant? I hope you're doing good. Fighting Danger says our run defense has struggled after Kinlaw and Armstead losses. Can we stop the rush game? I think we can. It's a little bit of a different approach for the Chargers as far as the run game goes. They really struggled to get any sort of a run game going against the Atlanta Falcons. What they had to do was use rhythm passing. Justin Herbert had to get the ball out quickly. That kind of made Atlanta eventually change what they were doing on defense. They weren't able to play 8 in the box anymore. They had to go back to favorable run boxes, and then it opened up for Eckler. But they want to get Eckler out on the edge. They want to be able to run plays where he's able to press to the line of scrimmage and then cut after you over pursue. The 49ers are so good at pursuing sideline to sideline. I think this is a bad matchup for the Chargers run game against the 49ers defense. If it was a straight ahead run style like we saw against Atlanta, a power football way of going about it, I would worry about the 49ers interior defensive line. But with this case, I don't. And also, even though Herbert extends plays and can actually take off and run, he's not exactly known to be, a guy they use a lot in the read option. So he doesn't put that kind of stress on you. Those types of things would really make me worried, especially with Eckler. So I think that, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be able to stop this run game, at least slow down Eckler. The main thing is worried about Eckler in screen game, worried about him in checkdowns, and being able to create in space. But having all 3 linebackers back this week could be exactly what the doctor ordered for the 49ers. Not to mention Jimmy Ward being able to help in that department as well. Bomber T says, hey, Ant, Aubrey's going to have to step it up. Yeah, that's it. Somebody's going to have to step up. Yammer Norway is going to get it done. Jimmy Ward's still playing the nickel right now. They have Womack. Womack's going to keep getting better. I think Womack by the end of the season, could be somebody you could count on. They have Dante Johnson, so they have some experience. But it could, one of those names we were just talking about a second ago, be somebody they add potentially. That could be the case. Yeah, Jan says Ryan can work with King. Hey, maybe, right? So maybe there is a potential. I wouldn't be shocked if now the 49ers don't, work some guys out, work some defensive backs out. They worked them out during the bye week. They had defensive backs, corners, and wide receivers come in. They signed a wide receiver to the practice squad so they could go that way. It also means we're probably going to see more of number 27. We had Dante Johnson. We had 50 guys on the roster with Verrett. Verrett's going to go on the IR. He's going to be done for the year, which is going to open up another roster spot. So every single player whose IR window was open can return this week. That means Jordan Willis, everyone can be active if the 49ers choose to do so. Of course, they don't have to, but they can. Fighting dangerously, will the offense finally lead the way this week rather than our defense? Yes, this is the week. I'm calling it. Verrett and Debo and CMC together. George Kittle, I just think this is going to be explosive week going against Brandon Staley's defense. I think Jimmy Garoppolo just has success with it. We're getting back Elijah Mitchell. I just think there's going to be a lot of impact players out there. Kyle Shanahan's had a couple weeks to prepare for a defense that he's very accustomed to going against. And I think the way they run defense, if they go to that 6-man front, going to open up some areas, along the hash marks for Jimmy Garoppolo to be able to throw the ball. And I think that can make it tough as well. So, yeah, I do think so. Mosquito Killer, what's up? He said, what's up, Ant? Been a minute finally catching a live stream. Always good when Mosquito Killer comes through. So I'm glad you're here. Ronald says, we got that cornerback on the practice squad. Activate him. Are you talking about Kadar Holman? He's on there as well. So, yeah. And Mosquito says, I just need to see the MM do a quarterback spy on Herbert. Don't want him to take off. Yeah, you don't want Herbert taking off. The one thing he does is he wants to extend play. So when he takes off outside the pocket, he's still looking down the field to be able to throw. He had a couple really big throws like that. I know they weren't for like long distance against Atlanta, but he found open receivers and moved the chains, and those things are pivotal and backbreakers in the game. What's up, David Campbell? Welcome to chat. And Jan says 31-27 Niners. A little surprised that you have the Chargers scoring 27 points. I know the Chargers are a good football team. They got Justin Herbert, but they are going to be without some of their key wide receivers, and it was more difficult for them to move the football against Atlanta because they're missing those. With Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, 31-27 would sound pretty close. But I do like, Jan, that you think the offense is going to score 30 again. I'm with you on that. Paul says Rams tried to stack the box a couple weeks ago. It didn't work so well for them. I think Jimmy learns to throw it down and out. Yeah, the thing is the way that they're having to approach Jimmy Garoppolo now, they're leaving voids for him to be able to throw the football. So if you load the box with the weapons that they have, and Christian McCaffrey, he's able to check down. He threw check downs to Christian McCaffrey. He threw check downs to Brandon Ayuk. He was just making things happen. So I think Christian McCaffrey's opened things up and made the 49ers offense, more comfortable, made Jimmy more comfortable in it. So I think so. And WTM says, Coach Ant, can we just put Ward on the opposing team's best wide receiver and shade the opposing side? You can. I mean, if you wanted to put Charvarius Ward to travel with whoever, you could do that. Here's the question that you got to ask yourself. If you do that, though, every offensive coordinator knows where Charvarius Ward is. So, yes, it gives you the advantage that you can help limit their best wide receiver, but it also gives them an advantage where they know where they can put Charvarius Ward on every single play. If they want him to line up in the slot, they can do that. If they want him to line up on the left and run away from him, they can do that. So you have to just make sure you are comfortable with the repercussions of, you can leave Charvarius Ward on one side, they know where he's at, and the same sort of thing happens. So it all just depends on how you want to play it. But we'll see what they do. I think they're going to feel comfortable with Lenore playing on one side. They're going to give help occasionally. Sometimes they're going to put him on an island and expect him to win. But the real pressure goes to the defensive line, who's going to be expected to get home a little bit quicker than they would have if they had Emmanuel Mosley out there. Fighting danger. And are you more worried about our offense or defense moving forward? I'm not really worried about either right now. I think the defense is, going to slowly get healthy. Getting Azeez Al-Shire back is good. Jimmy Ward consistently getting better and more healthy. That is good. Eventually, Eric Armstead will come back, and then that'll help the defensive line. I don't know what to expect from Kinlaw. He was kind of in that Jason Verrett category as well. So I think that I'm not really worried about either side of the football. I think they're both playing well. If I had to pick, one spot, I think it would be the cornerback and then on offense, the center. Those are the two most concerning, but both of them have played somewhat average over the last few weeks, and it hasn't been such of a detriment. So that's always good to remember. And Tommy says, screen us to death. We'll do you apart. Yeah, they have been trying to screen the 49ers to death, slowing down that pass rush. But if the 49ers can get home with 4 and play the screen, then it's going to be hard for them to move the football. So maybe. Spy Nick Danger says, do you think we can make the playoffs if we can't catch the Seahawks in the division? Yeah, I think so. I think that, first off, you kind of control your own destiny. The Seahawks are playing in Germany this week, and then they're going to have a bye week. So you're going to get that game as long as you can win against the Cardinals. You're going to be able to catch the Seahawks, but you have to take care of business. But overall, as long as the 49ers keep winning within the division and beating the teams they should, they can finish 10-6 and make or 10-7 and make the playoffs. So I do think that they can do that. That game against the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football is going to be absolutely gigantic. So I'm looking forward to that matchup and looking forward to that game. I think both those teams can make the division just because of some of the the NFC South weaknesses. I think some of the NFC East teams I think the Giants might slip a little bit. So there's going to be opportunities for other teams to make it. And as of right now, the 49ers would have been the 7th seed. So I think they can do it. Tommy says, I'm a pessimist because we haven't done blank since I was in high school. Pessimism runs rampant. There's pessimists, there's optimists, and I think both kind of even each other out. But Tommy, I had no idea you're a pessimist. I don't know what would ever make people think that. Dan says, if the Niners sweep the Hawks, they take the division. I'm with you. I really agree with that as well. Mosquito Killer says this is going to be a great run game for us. Yeah, the Atlanta Falcons give up 5.7 yards per carry. That's not good. And when we watched it on film, they had 5 guys to the line of scrimmage running that 3-4, and Atlanta was still, gashing them too. Not like 3 and 4 yard runs like they were getting against the Niners. I'm talking like 12 to 15 yards on some plays. Cordero Patterson had a lot of room to maneuver. They were using him in the backfield, and out at wide receiver. It was a good game plan, and the only adjustment that worked was when he put 6 guys, an extra defensive lineman up there. That slowed Atlanta because then Marcus Mariota wasn't able to consistently make the throws that he needed to make as far as timing. He would, kind of get happy feet and leave the pocket a little early. So I thought it was a great adjustment by Brandon Staley. He actually did a really good job. What's up, Scott Hill? How's it going? It has been a while. Mr. Corey says, Ant, forget about suiting up at center. We need you at corner. Oh, no. Never that, Mr. Corey. I think it was like, let me think. Was it 2015, 2016? Maybe it's 2016. So about 6 years ago, I was showing one of the corners how to roll over and run with the receiver, keeping the contact and everything. And we clipped heels and I pulled my calf. So no cornerback for me. I'm not doing that. It was hard to walk after that. Finding he says, hey, Ant, he says, can Jimmy G really play better than Herbert in this game? The cool thing is, like, Herbert is going to make plays and Herbert's going to do his thing, and he's spectacular. And Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have the tools that Justin Herbert has. He doesn't have that arm. He doesn't have that elusiveness. He doesn't navigate the pocket quite as well. I mean, Herbert is just, one of those top tier guys. But in this game, Jimmy Garoppolo has a lot more talent around him. He has a lot more guys. He can put the ball out there to them and they can make plays. And because he has a variety of different ways to attack, he's going to have guys that are open. So he's going to have more opportunities for plays from his playmakers. So I think he could outduel Justin Herbert in the stats that way. I mean, is he as good a quarterback as Herbert? Of course not. But I think that's what you're going to see from Jimmy Garoppolo moving forward, is he can take advantage of these matchups that Kyle Shanahan's going to get for him because of these absolutely impressive offensive weapons. They're going to be able to make plays. So I think that is a possibility. And Bomber, she said, I wish Herbert was a Niner. Yeah, see, it was so crazy because I even said this to Jay Hill. Jay Hill's been a huge Herbert fan. I wasn't like an over-the-top huge Herbert fan of him coming out of Oregon. I thought he was inconsistent. Wasn't a huge fan, but man, he proved me wrong. And he's been spectacular. Mr. Corey with 31-10 Niners. I like it. Jan Stewart says, knees have trouble with mobile quarterbacks. It will be close. There's how mobile is Herbert, right? That's one of the questions. As far as extending plays, he does a really good job. He ran for 300 yards last year. That's pretty good, but he's not the Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson type gash you. But he's the more Marcus Mariota, play breaks down, he can create with his legs, which is scary. Just with him, he's got a more dynamic ability to throw the ball down the field, locate receivers. I think he's just, he is one of those top 5 quarterbacks in the league, talent-wise. It's pretty ridiculous. And what's up, Ziggy? How's it going? Says, I will be at the game with a bunch of Charger fans. Put myself dead center. I'm going to be running my mouth so much. I love it. Mosquito Kill. Let them know what's up. That'll be a fun time for sure. Ronald says 31-13 Niners. I love it. Lots of 30 points on offense. Lots of, stopping them on defense. Can't hate on it. Fighting Danger says, if we can't beat the Chargers without Joey Bosa and other key injuries, I give up. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those games. It's a winnable football game. It's not as important as the Cardinals game coming up on Monday Night Football next week. But I think that, it is a chance to win for them that they need to take advantage of. They need to win some of these matchups. They let a couple go early in the season. They should have beat the Bears. They should have beat the Broncos. They lost those football games. They got to win these ones like this. And what's up, Freddie McDre? How's it going? Glad to see you in chat. Fighting Danger says 49ers 34-24. That will be a fun game to watch, Fighting Danger. I mean, that's lots of points. That's lots of excitement. I'm good. Good with that. Freddie McDre says, if Kinlaw officially a bust, can't stay healthy. I don't quite put him in the bust category yet. So I think his play on the field has showed that he's not a bust. But if he can't stay healthy, he ends up, being one of those unfortunate situations. So I kept hoping he was going to be on the field this year. It doesn't appear he's going to play as many games as I was hoping. But I think they are going to have to make a decision about his fifth-year option. We're going to find out exactly what their thought process is on him. And if his knee is absolutely chronic and this is going to be something that plagues him for the rest of his career, you might be able to put him into that category. David Campbell says, I'm not surprised, but totally bummed out about Verrett. I feel so bad for him. I'm in the same category as you. And David, you've been coming through and saying, you know what, I'd expect nothing from Verrett. I expect nothing from Kinlaw. And I thought that was a really good, kind of way to look at it. But I mean, it literally, when I saw the report, I got sent a text about Jason Verrett. I felt like a punch in the gut, because I was really hoping he was going to be able to do things and end on his terms. And the fact that he's not, and he's probably going to go out with injury, is just unfortunate. He worked so hard to get back, and to have this injury happen, I feel for Jason Verrett. And I just hope that, he ends up being in a good place and he ends up getting healthy and lives a productive life. He's just a good dude, and it's tough. Travis says, it's crazy playing the Chargers this year. We got like 10 home games. That's what it feels like, and then they're going to go to Mexico City. That's going to feel like a home game. Like it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. Spiking Danger says, Will Shanahan and Ryans outcoach the Charger staff? Yes, I think so. Even though the Charger staff is pretty good overall, I mean, they have some really good guys. Their special teams coordinator, Ryan Ficken, he was with Minnesota. He's put together a really good special teams over the years. They do a pretty good job. Brandon Staley, of course, is the main defensive mind, but his defensive coordinator is Ronaldo Hill. Ronaldo Hill used to play in the NFL. He played for 10 years. And he coached with Vic Fangio. So he comes from that system. He understands exactly how that system works. The problem is Shanahan has really good success against that system and how they go about it. And then their offensive coordinator, I mean, Joe Lombardi, him and Justin Herbert put it together last year. I mean, that offense was absolutely spectacular. Over 5,000 yards passing, 38 touchdowns, 443 completions. And then, they had several games where they had 300 plus passing yards. It's really, really good. They had 9 of those, in fact, in a 17-game season. So they've had some very successful coaches, but I just think that right now, DeMeco Ryans and Kyle Shanahan are just operating at a higher level. And I think they understand this defense and this offense pretty well. The offense is more akin to what you get from Sean Payton. Lombardi comes from the Sean Payton tree. He's been quarterback coach for Drew Brees and all those guys. So I think, I think they'll be fine. But it's a pretty good coaching staff. There's a reason they're 5-3, even though they've had all these injuries. And I know there's a lot of talk about them. It almost feels like they've been losing, but they haven't. They've actually been winning. Ronald says, we need the Squawks to lose. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be playing Tampa Bay. That'll be a big game. Tampa Bay's first in the division, but I want to see them beat the Seahawks. I want that to happen. In the Bay, what's good, and CCC, if you're wishing speedy recovery for Jason, hit that like button. Thanks so much, Jay the Bay. I hope you're having a good day. Everyone, if you haven't subscribed to Jay's channel, do that. He's always fun and entertaining, and he's a good guy. So give him a follow if you haven't already. Mr. Corey says, how fitting that Verrett's career ends with him getting ready to play against the organization that drafted him. Shake my head. Yeah, frustrating. So frustrating, Mr. Corey. I can't. I just can't. I feel for him. That one hurt. I mean, some of the injuries and stuff, like that one hurt. Mosquito Killer says, man, I hope Jimmy Ward has moved back to safety and they bring in Dante Johnson or Womack for slot. Yeah, I keep waiting for it. I think I keep waiting for Womack to end up moving to slot, Jimmy Ward going back to safety. They haven't been willing to do it right now, which means their belief is Jimmy Ward and Tyshawn Gibson on the field together is better than Samuel Womack and Jimmy Ward. Until that changes and they feel more comfortable with Womack, that's probably what it's going to be. We'll see what happens when they play against the Cardinals, because the Cardinals, they're probably going to play a lot of dime with all those extra receivers. So let's see who they play on the field. They might need all those guys to play. Freddie McDrake says CMC was the best trade of the year. Yes, 100% all over that with you. Gansu says, remind me how Mariota did against the Niners. He did really good. Yeah, he did really well. He was able to execute, the pass plays that were there. They weren't able to get any sort of a pass rush on him without Nick Bosa, and I think that's a big part of it. Nick Bosa wasn't there, so I think Nick playing in this game is going to make an impact. And how many times is he going to be called Joey Bosa? That's what I want to know. It's going to happen. He's going to be called Joey Bosa several times in this game, and hopefully he makes big time plays in this game. Collie, what's up, Collie? How you doing? Says Ant, would you pick up Kinlaw's option? I wouldn't right now. I mean, he's just not on the field. I think it's a different situation with other guys like, Brandon Ayuk, who's going to be coming up for his 5th-year option. They picked up Mike McGlinchey's last year. Those guys, yeah, they've had injuries and stuff, but not to this level. He just hasn't been playing very much football. So I think that when it comes down to it, as of right now, I wouldn't. If Kinlaw ends up coming back from injury and plays the rest of the year, that might sway me and change my opinion. And maybe at that point they would, because he'd be a cheap option to play defensive tackle. But depending on where he's at, they need to make a couple moves here. So I wouldn't. Ronald says, hey, Ant, my son Logan says hi and go Niners. Well, thank you so much, Logan. I hope you're having a good day. I say hello to you as well. Go Niners. Exactly right. Logan knows what's up. Love that. Spiting Danger, will our defense get back to playing at top 5 level versus the Chargers? Yeah, I think you started to see it round into form in the second half against the Los Angeles Rams. They started coming into their own, feeling confident once they adjusted to what they were doing to them as far as screen games and trying to keep them off balance. They adjusted to the fly sweeps. They did a really good job of making the adjustments that Kansas City had pointed out to everyone. There were maybe weaknesses of the 49ers. So I thought the Niners did a really good job with that, and they held Los Angeles Rams scoreless, and they held them to like 56 yards in the entire second half. I thought it was a tremendous showing by the defense, and I think that's what the 49ers defense is going to continue to do. And I think that they have, feel comfortable with some of the players they have out there. They get healthier a little bit more and more every day. I think Azeez is going to do big things in helping the run game get better. And guys like Dre Greenlaw are normally Los Angeles Rams stuffers. He didn't even play, and they still did that performance. So it was really, really good. Stormy Redhawk says, we need to get a cornerback badly now. I'm pretty sure D'Amico was counting on Verrett. You know what? They could have, D'Amico could have, silently or quietly been counting on Jason Verrett. I'm sure a lot of them were hoping, because when Verrett's right, I mean, he's a Pro Bowl caliber player. You never want to lose a player like Eman, but you feel like if you had, that safety valve, okay, well, we have Jason Verrett potentially at some point he can come back. They were being cautious with him. They were waiting to activate him. They just kept, taking their time with Jason Verrett, and it just didn't pan out. I mean, I think there was probably some wish, the wish that they could give Verrett out there, but it's just, it's not working out for sure. And that's what's frustrating. You want Jason Verrett, but what options are they going to go to at the cornerback position? I think there's some questions there. And Stormy says, I wish the Niners would trade Kinlaw or Armstead for an elite cornerback. Yeah, I don't, that trade is definitely not out there right now. I don't know how many teams would do that. I don't think any teams would trade for Kinlaw for an elite cornerback. There's potentially elite cornerback caliber players on the market before the trade deadline, like Stephon Gilmore. But he's still in with the Colts. So there's some more, low budget type cornerbacks out there on the market. They're probably going to work out some guys, potentially bring someone in for depth, but looks like it's going to be Deommodore Lenoir, Samuel Womack, Ambry Thomas, and Dante Johnson. They're going to be tasked with playing the cornerback position, which is going to make it, a little bit more difficult, but One thing I wanted to get into was, a little bit of the key matchups, and I think one of the 49ers key matchups on defense is going to be limiting Austin Eckler. They can slow him down, and we went into this a little bit during the Q&A was if you can stop Austin Eckler on early downs, at first and second, and force third and longs, you have an opportunity to get the Chargers off the field. Atlanta had forced them to go 3 and out in 2 straight drives. When you got it to where you had Herbert had third and short, third and medium, he was able to convert on those. So the 49ers need third and 7 plus because Herbert wants to have the rhythm throw, get the ball out, be able to complete it on time. But if you can limit that, it's going to change it. But the 49ers have to stop Eckler. They have to make sure they him up. Don't let him get on the edge, make plays. Don't let him create in the passing game by giving him space. Be right up on him, and then when he does make a catch, tackle him right there. No yards after the catch is going to be very, very important for the 49ers in the game. I think that is one way the 49ers can go about it, and if they can slow him down, then I think that's going to make it more difficult on Herbert. Against Atlanta, it pretty much just fell all on Herbert's arm, and he was able to make some plays that opened up the run game for Eckler eventually. And then they were able to score. But there's a lot of pressure without Keenan Allen, without Mike Williams, without Jalen Guyton for him to be able to make plays, and it's difficult for him. Now, over on the defensive side of the football, the offensive side of the football, the key matchup for me is this the 49ers executing, making sure you execute. Right now, you have so many dynamic weapons. You have so many ways to make big-time plays. But you need your skill players to go out there and execute. You need your offensive line to be able to make those blocks. So I'm hoping that the 49ers are going to be able to do it in this football game. Hoping they're going to be able to execute. And I think they can. They're coming off a bye week. They're prepared for what Brandon Staley does on offense. Or on defense. So they're going to find different ways to execute. They're going to put some interesting personnel groupings out there. I wonder how much we're going to see Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell out there together with 2 running back looks, kind of like we did last week. But I think everyone's most excited to see a Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk with Kyle Juszczyk grouping out there. I think that's going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be fun to watch. And Stormy says Dante Johnson, Old Faithful. Yeah, Dante Johnson's always here. Dante Johnson's been here since the Harbaugh days. Jimmy Ward as well. They are, they're here for the long haul, and he's made some plays. Last year he made some plays. This year he hasn't been asked to do as much, but yeah, I think he's doing a pretty good job. Of doing what the 49ers ask. I know they think a lot of him, and the one thing we can say about him is primarily he's in the right spots. He's durable. Is he locked down? No. Is he someone that you can count on to make plays? Yeah. But with this 49ers offense, it's all about just giving different looks, continuing to get the players, the playmakers, the ball, and Jimmy Garoppolo not turning it over. And I think if the 49ers can get a lot of third and shorts and be able to win on early downs, they'll be able to convert first downs and they'll be able to make plays. So I think there's going to be avenues for this 49ers football team, to really get some stuff done. I'm excited about it overall. Excited about their opportunities, and they're playing on Sunday night, so they're going to have a huge audience. It's going to be spectacular. Now I'm going to get into my wow, that's bold prediction for the game.
Wow, that's really bold. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Wow, that's really bold. We've been having bold predictions all week on the channel, from a variety of the different people that come on with me. And now I'm going to give my bold prediction as well. And my bold prediction is that this 49ers offense is going to make big-time plays. And I'm going to actually give an offense and a defensive one because I think the offense is going to have 2 rushing touchdowns in this game, and they're going to have a lot of impact from their running backs. I think Elijah Mitchell and Christian McCaffrey score rushing touchdowns in this game. That's my wow, that's bold. My wow, that's bold on defense is that the 49ers are going to hold Justin Herbert under 200 yards passing, which is not an easy feat, but I think they're going to go ahead and get it done in this football game. I think it's going to be huge for them. And overall, my score prediction for this game, I think the 49ers are going to win this game. I think the 49ers are going to make plays, And I think that the score is going to be exactly what kind of some people were trying to put in chat already. I think the 49ers are going to beat the Chargers. I'm going big. 41-17 49ers. Huge victory. Am I crazy? Maybe. People thought I was crazy when I predicted they were going to score over 30 points against the Rams. They did it. I see a similar defense. So I'm going with that. I'm going to go with the 49ers making a huge game in it. And if you're in chat right now and you haven't put your score, go ahead and throw that in there. I'm good with it. Ronald says bold predictions. We'll go undefeated the rest of the season, winning the Super Bowl. I love that, Ronald. Well done. And what's up, David Villa? How's it going? What's up, Faithful and Coach Ant? Let's get this win Sunday night. That's fantastic. Yeah, so I love that, Ronald. Winning the Super Bowl. Hey, you know what? A lot of people are starting to build into, get into form. Hey, 49ers are gonna make some noise and do some damage. Randy says 41 is crazy. I'm saying 40. Like that. Yeah, you know what? You gotta go crazy, right, Randy? I just think this is the game the 49ers explode. And I know the Chargers play everyone tough, especially in prime time. I just think coming out of a bye, having all the weapons, they're going to be motivated. They understand what Brandon Staley does on defense. They're going to be ready to roll. And they just have so many weapons right now. It's going to be fun. Paul says 31-17. Only reason there's less is because I think Shanahan will run it after he's ahead in the end. I think that's a good call, Paul. Well done on that. I think that's a good score. And that, you know what? It's been funny. Most of the scores have been 31-34, and then most of them have the Chargers scoring around 17 points. It's pretty interesting. I know a couple people in chat earlier had 13, had 10, and I think even somebody had 31-24. But the thought process of the 49ers are going over 30 in this game, which I love. I love to see a little bit of offense coming from the 49ers. Matthew Rowley says thought it would be huge blowout, but not anymore. Everyone seems like they're really down because of Verrett. I think they're down right now, Matthew Rowley. Maybe they will go ahead and put it together, rally, and then do it for Jason Verrett. So I'm sure it's a punch in the gut to everyone today. You never want that. Everyone likes Verrett. They understand what it means for him, what it meant for his family, how hard he worked to coming back. So I think that's part of it. But you got a point. I'm sure they're down right now. Just can they turn it around? Ronald says, I think run CMC will go 100 yards rushing, 100 yards receiving, and 3 TDs. Love it. I love that. Mr. Corey says, Defo coming home on 2023, bringing Gilmore with it. Mr. Corey, don't give me that sort of hope and give me a heart attack. I really don't. Paul says, hey, Ant, I got tickets and I'm heading down on Sunday. Should be a blast. Yeah, that's going to be a great time. I hope you have a lot of fun, Paul. Really enjoy it. I think it's going to be spectacular. I think you're going to get to see an absolute show. I think that's going to be fun. 49ers versus Chargers is going to be a good one. Justin Herbert, Christian McCaffrey. Like, there's just a lot of really good players. And you got their defense has some good, some stud players. Khalil Mack, he's not the same Khalil Mack he was, earlier in his career, but he's still got some ability. And then they've got Asante Samuel Jr., Derwin James from Florida State. I know my guy Jay Ellie knows all about them, and that's how I am too. I love me some Florida State football, so I've been watching them, and those are two of my favorite. Derwin James is one of my favorite players to ever come out of Florida State. He's just he's fantastic. And then Ronald's going with a Fred Warner pick 6, which I love. WTM said, any offensive line concerns Sunday? You know what? I don't really have too many offensive line concerns on Sunday. If Joey Bosa was playing, I think I would be really worried about it. If Joey Bosa was going to go ahead and make plays, for this team, he was going to put a lot of stress on this 49ers offensive line. I would not have liked him matching up against Mike McGlinchey. I think that would have been tough matchup for McGlinchey. They would have been able to go with waves. It would have been Bosa, Khalil Mack, Bosa, but now it's going to be like Chris Rumpf, so it's going to be a little bit easier. I'm sure sometimes you'll see Kyle Van Noy. I just think it's going to be a little bit easier there. And then, they do run a zero tech, which is a guy head up on the center. That's a little concerning because Brendel's one-on-one, but we'll see. We'll see if Brendel's able to anchor, if they're able to, give him help, which they've been doing all year. And with the way that the Chargers have been playing their defensive tackles in the B gaps, they could give help with the guards. So I think they've been doing that to occupy linemen, but that would be probably my primary concern would be Jake Brendel, but I don't know. Mr. Corey says, is Alex coming back at all this season? Not sure, Mr. Corey, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. We'll see what's up, but right now I don't have the answers to that. And so I can't give you a good answer. And Paul says, how about a bold prediction that Mike McGlinchey gets his act together and plays awesome on Sunday? So I just leave that guy. Hey, do it. I just believe in that guy. I love it, Paul. I love the wow, that's bold. Make it happen. Love it. Ronald says, okay, whatever happens, just no injuries and a dub will be perfect. And Squawks lose to the Bucks. I'm with you. Absolutely fantastic. I love all the stuff that's been coming through. I've been loving the chat. You guys are killing it. Fantastic. And you know what, guys? I'm gonna jump out, but I want to tell you all, thank you guys for coming through for this episode. I had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this week. If you guys come through on Sunday, of course, I'll be having stuff going on Sunday as well, and we'll be breaking it down. And Paul, have a good time out there. Enjoy the game. Everyone enjoy the game, and come by the channel and say what's up. I'm gonna hop on. I'm gonna watch the game live. So if you guys want to come on and listen to my commentary live, you guys can hop on and do that. You guys can watch the game, and then I'm gonna do the same. And we're gonna have a fun conversation about it. And then I'll do a live reaction show afterwards. So either way, come to the channel on Sunday. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Doing a lot of traveling over the weekend. I'm heading out to Arizona for a wedding, and then I'm gonna get back on Sunday with a nice early trip. So I'll see you guys all on Sunday. There's going to be content coming out all through the weekend on the channel. So check it out. Let me know what you guys think, and have a great weekend, everyone. Until the next time, stay safe and remember the right way is always the 49ers way.